The secret behind highly resilient people. This is based on about 11 years of research of interviewing people, stories, anecdotes, and working with organizations all over the world. It basically comes down to three very core things. And if you do these core things, it hits every aspect of life. It's like a one-stop shop. And they are basically to take back control of their state, perception, and capacity. Now, those are very conceptual words that don't make much sense, so we're going to get practical about it. The habit number one, which is choose your state. You know, we've all heard that, you choose your attitude, choose your state of mind, and isn't that great if you can do that, as opposed to letting your state choose you. That happens to us sometimes, right? It just feels like a state of mind has chosen you for the day. And how do you unchoose it is the tricky question. Now, have you ever had a well-meaning person come up to you and say, you know, you're having one of those bad days, and they go, just take the high road. Just get over it. Let it go. Be happy, don't worry, man. Does this help? Not usually. It's not an intellectual experience, right? What it usually is, it's really about rewiring your neural pathways, because it's not an intellectual exercise. You have to connect into the body-mind system, the subconscious mind, and create those new neural pathways, and that's done through those little habits, whether it's asking yourself a question or the little rituals that you do amongst yourself and your team that either dial up on resilience or dial it down. Now, there's a great quote by Albert Einstein that some of you probably know. You cannot solve a problem with the same mindset that, created the problem, exactly. And so you can't really discuss any topic about resilience if you're not going to talk about switching the mindset. And a lot of people just kind of talk about it, but they don't understand the mechanics of how to do that. And our company has studied the actual mechanics of how to do that. So we're going to talk about that. Now, here's one thing, that this is a deceptively simple practice, but I've been working with organizations that's literally for 24 years, and we hear back from what people are actually using in their workplace 24 years later, and this was one of them. So it's kind of a great way to change your statement in an instant and to practice habit number one. And it came from researching what was it that made an organization's resilience go down. And we could pretty much always bring it back to one thing: negative focus. Overly focused on the negative. Obviously, we need to focus on negative things, solve problems, but that ruminating, complaining, let's just look at that. So people are nodding. It's fairly common in the human condition. You know, I can get sucked into it really easily too. I came from that kind of family. And, you know, it could be you're on a break with somebody, you're on a coffee break, and you say, so how's it going? And they say, I don't know, I think I'm getting that thing that's going around. I got a bit of a cold. And if you're like me, you get sucked into that, you go, oh really? I need root canal. Just went to the dentist. And then they go, oh yeah, well someone hit and run my car in the parking lot, big scratch down the side. It'll take all my vacation money to fix. Oh really? I don't have a car. And you build a mutual bond of misery with the person? I don't know if you know people like this, but I have people in my life that, like my dad, we call him the beacon of doom. He loves to complain, right? Come over, hi Dad, how's it going? Big long list of everything going wrong in his life and the world. It's just like, so what can be useful is to have a little habit if you tend to get into those bad news conversations. And so just a greeting or a question I developed at first with my dad and became big in organizations. I just said, so Dad, I get it, all these things are bad, but what's good? What's going well? And the first time I asked him, he said, what's going well? Nothing. I said, Dad, you're retired, the house is paid off, your rose bush looking really well. Okay, roses are doing good this year. And then next time I came over, he goes, okay, I've got 2 things for you. And then he started getting a bigger and bigger list, and I kind of retrained him, and he kind of liked it. He started scanning for good things to tell me. And it started to have this ripple effect in organizations where people would start going around and asking people what's good, what's going well. It's called appreciative inquiry. Some of you probably do it. Anyone do that kind of thing? Yeah, some people. So we're just going to try it in a moment just because, of course, the experiential is always kind of fun. You've been sitting a while. It's near the end of the day, and there's probably some cool people here you haven't met yet. So it's going to work like this. Just for fun. In a moment, you're going to get out of your chair, and I know it's a little cramped here and there, but do kind of head over, maybe you can, and just ask somebody what's good. And they're going to tell you one thing, and you're going to tell them one thing, and you go, thank you very much, real quick, and then you move on to somebody else, and you just try to get to many people around you as possible in as short a time as possible. Now, I know some of you are thinking to yourself, I don't like these things. So don't worry, it won't take very long. And the other thing you might be thinking is, what is good? You know, you don't have to finish your master's thesis yesterday. You know, lower the bar. Many of us are high achievers, right? Lower the bar, like, that little chocolate thing they had after lunch was pretty good. Or I bought these shoes the other day on sale, so comfy. My 3-year-old said the cutest thing at breakfast. The little things, right? The little fun, nice things about life we forget. So that's all you need to do. Now, there's one rule in that you have to do a different what's good per person. I know some of you are just going to go, I like my shoes, I like my shoes. I like my shoes. Glad that's over. So you have to do a different thing. So you can cheat, you can make it up. They'll never know. Just say, yeah, I read this diet book last night. I woke up this morning 20 pounds gone. Quickly move away. And so as long as you want it to be true, as long as it makes you feel good, it can be true or not true. So your job is to see if you can get to 4 people or more. You only have 97 seconds to do it. Ready, go. So who made something up? Nobody had to make something up. That's good. You had lots of good things. So just by a quick show of hands, who here feels like their energy is a bit higher than before we did this? Yeah, lots of people. Now, if you didn't put your hand up, you're a loser. Just joking. That's not really true. Sometimes this works for me, sometimes it doesn't. But I do notice that for a lot of people, this just dials up on your energy, and I would say also your resilience. So if you're having this end of the day slump and you still have, say, a challenging person to deal with, a big stack of work to do, that you would go so far as to just kind of walk up to somebody and go, what's good? And get a few pieces of good news from people, share your own good news, and that's what a lot of people in different organizations I've worked with have been doing for 24 years. They just have this as a little attitude adapter. But why do you think that dials your energy up? I know there's some obvious and maybe not so obvious reasons. Does anyone want to shout something out?
People smile.
Yeah, people are smiling.
They smile. It's resonance.
Yeah, and as we were doing with Dr. Lou, turn to someone, you smile. If you could look at your brain scan, everything would be dialed up a little bit more. You know, if you are talking to people who are complaining to you all day, and you're in meetings and everyone's talking about the problems to fix, and then you go home at the end of the day and you talk to your spouse and they go, oh, you wouldn't believe this guy at work's driving me crazy, and this thing didn't show up in the mail, and then you watch the news. And it's if all you're getting is the negative stuff all day long and you're not balancing it out, that's the number one thing that dials down on resilience. And I know it's one of those simple things like just be happy, but it's not, it's really about finding things that help you, that work for you and your personality, that will shift your perspective.